Tom Mitchell had been teaching kindergarten for 12 years at Meadowbrook Elementary. At 34, with warm brown hair and kind eyes that crinkled when he smiled, he had a natural way with children that came from genuine care rather than training. His students called him Mr. Tom, and he knew each one by heart. Little Emma Harrison sat in the front row of his class. She was 6 years old, with long blonde hair that her grandmother braided each morning and bright eyes that sparkled with intelligence. Emma used a wheelchair, her legs unable to carry her since birth, but that never seemed to slow down her spirit. She was always first to raise her hand, eager to answer questions and share her thoughts. Tom had noticed something about Emma throughout the year. During parent events, she would watch the other children with their mothers and fathers, a quiet longing in her expression. Emma lived with her grandmother, Ruth, a gentle woman in her late 60s who did her very best. But Emma's parents were not in the picture, and Tom could see the empty space that left in her young heart. As the school year drew to a close, the kindergarten graduation ceremony approached. It was a sweet tradition at Meadowbrook, a way to celebrate the children before they moved on to first grade. The students would wear little red caps and gowns, and each child could invite their family to watch them receive their certificates. One afternoon, about a week before graduation, Tom was helping Emma with her art project when she spoke quietly, almost too quietly for him to hear. "Mr. Tom?" she said, her small hands pausing over her drawing. "Yes, sweetheart." He knelt down beside her wheelchair so they were at eye level. Emma looked at him with those bright, hopeful eyes. "Can I ask you something important?" "Of course you can. You can ask me anything." She took a breath, and he could see her gathering courage. "At graduation, when they call my name, could you be my dad, just for that day? I know Grandma Ruth will be there, and I love her so much, but all the other kids will have their dads there, and I just—" Her voice trailed off, and tears began to well up in her eyes. Tom felt his heart break and mend all at once. He reached out and took her small hand in his. "Oh, Ma," he said softly. "I would be honored. I would be so very honored." Her face lit up like sunshine breaking through clouds. "Really? You mean it?" "I absolutely mean it," Tom said, his own eyes growing misty. "You can count on me." The week passed quickly. Tom called Emma's grandmother to discuss the plan, and Ruth was deeply touched. "She talks about you constantly," Ruth told him over the phone. "You've been such a blessing to her this year. Thank you for being so kind to my granddaughter." On graduation day, the school gymnasium was decorated with balloons and streamers. Families filled the folding chairs, cameras ready. Tom stood backstage with his students, helping them adjust the red caps and making sure everyone was ready. When it was time, Tom did something that surprised everyone. He stepped out onto the stage, but not in his usual teacher clothes. He wore a crisp button-down shirt and had dressed with special care. And when Emma's name was called, he walked beside her wheelchair as she rolled across the stage. The principal handed Emma her certificate, and the audience applauded. But then Tom did something more. He knelt down beside Emma's wheelchair, right there on the stage in front of everyone, and he spoke clearly into the microphone. "Emma Harrison," he said, his voice warm and steady, "you are one of the brightest lights I've ever had the privilege to teach. You're brave, you're smart, and you're kind. And today, I'm proud to stand here with you, just like you asked." He paused, and then he said something that made Emma's face glow with pure joy. "You asked me to be your dad for today, but if it's all right with you and your grandmother, I'd like to be a part of your life for much longer than that. Not to replace anyone, but to be here for you, to show up for you, because you deserve that." Emma threw her arms around his neck, and the gymnasium erupted in applause. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. Ruth wiped tears from her face in the front row, nodding and smiling through her emotion. From that day forward, Tom became a steady presence in Emma's life. He came to her birthday parties. He attended her school events as she grew older. He made sure she knew that someone believed in her, that someone was cheering for her every step of the way. Years later, people would ask Tom why he did it, why he made that commitment to a little girl who wasn't his daughter by blood. And his answer was always simple: because she asked. He would say, she had the courage to ask for what she needed, And I had the privilege to say yes. Sometimes the most important thing we can do is show up for someone who needs us. That's what family really means. Emma never forgot that graduation day, and neither did Tom. It was the day a teacher became so much more, and the little girl learned that sometimes, the family you choose is just as powerful as the family you're born into. Love, after all, isn't about biology. It's about showing up. It's about being present. It's about saying yes when someone needs you most. And that's exactly what Tom Mitchell did.